Productions.
The Green Route merch available now on sourkidsmerch.com.
Due to suggestive adult themes and dialogue, this podcast is intended for adults. In other words, the truth is ugly, so we get ugly right along with it. Everything we say is out of love for ourselves, our people, and our community. Sincerely, the Green Route Podcast.
Want to welcome you to the Green Route Podcast. I am GS.
And I'm Marlissa. And you can tell we don't practice like our opening.
We don't be practicing. We just be going. Shit. We just be dropping. We just be starting.
Man, how you doing today?
I'm pretty good. I'm a little tired.
Okay.
But I'm okay. I'm good. Had a wonderful experience yesterday.
Lovely.
I'm centered. I'm at peace. I'm good.
I like that. You getting good rest? You doing what you're supposed to do?
I was up late yesterday, but outside of that, but for the most part, rest has been really good.
Good.
So, what about you? How you feeling?
I feel good. I had a 35-year-old moment the other day. I don't know, my shoulder just started hurting out of nowhere.
Oh, baby, you're getting the...
Yeah, I was like, is that the author? Like,
you need the author?
Is that true? But yeah, I think I actually slept bad or something because it wasn't bothering me. And then when I woke up the next morning, like I could barely lift it. So, yeah, I don't know. I just took some anti-inflammatories, figuring it was, just something in the joint, and then woke up this morning feeling good, feeling great.
Feeling good. Okay.
Good old Motrin, sometimes takes care of those things. But yeah, other than that, things are good. Trudging along. Going on vacation tomorrow. So excited about that. Yep, going to get to see my sister out in Mexico. So
that's gonna be fun.
It should be fun. Yeah. It should be fun. Well, all right, y'all. We got things to do. Black Canvas is back tonight.
Black Canvas is back tonight. Heroes Lounge.
Yep.
Pull up.
Yep. And I got two meetings right after this, so I should probably get into these topics. All right, so let's break in unless there's something else you want to chat about real quick.
Let's do it.
All right, cool. All right, y'all. First on our docket, let me get my list going real quick. We got to talk about the TikTok ban. I mean, yeah. So for people who don't know, right now, the House just passed a TikTok ban. So right now it's on its way to Congress. So they are looking to ban TikTok fully. AOC came out and said that she does not support this TikTok ban because they haven't taken enough time to actually review everything concerning the issues that they are posing about TikTok, the security, the antitrust. She said it's rushed. Yeah. They haven't even had a chance to fully review it, nor have they given the opportunity for the people to fully review it. It's bullshit. I was going to ask how you really feel about it.
It's bullshit. It's bullshit for me. The top two reasons why it's bullshit is because number one, when they brought the CEO in for questioning, they talked the TikTok CEO. Number one, there was a lot of racism kind of being spewed at him. Are you a part of the Communist Party? Do you like? It was just a lot of. They really sounded
stupid. He's not even Chinese, is he?
He's not.
Yeah, like
he's not
that was
even
one
Chinese.
of the big things.
He's not even Chinese.
What are y'all talking about?
He's like, do you have citizenship of China? Do you? It felt like. You know how like when you watch those detective shows and they're slimy and full of shit and they're trying to get you to break and trying to get you to, say something incriminating when really they're full of shit themselves. Right. That's what that looked like. So number one, that in that hearing made me just kind of see through it all. Number two, they are trying to ban TikTok. A part of it is misinformation, and they feel like China's taking, taking information, spyware, taking information, American citizens' information. Facebook,
there we go,
a few years ago, was almost exclusively responsible for the genocide of a group of people. What was it? Was it Myanmar? I'm not exactly sure which country, but Facebook was used as a tool to spread misinformation about a minority group that they end up not completely murdering off, but they unalived a lot of people. It started a genocide.
And I don't find that specific country. So I'm saying like, but there's no issue with Facebook
That's fine.
concerning
We
that.
can keep that standard.
Concerning that.
Yeah. Yeah. So back to your point with just kind of the racist attack on the TikTok CEO, right?
Mhm.
Like you could even see when he was answering the questions, he was frustrated and almost confused. Like, do you not understand?
It was a level of stupidity that,
like, even he was just like, I'm Singaporean. I have a Singaporean.
are you Chinese?
passport.
I'm
And it was like,
Singaporean.
and they were like, are you a member of the Chinese Communist Party? He was like, Senator, I'm Singaporean. Like, he just kept saying it over. And I had like, there have been times specifically in these hearings around social media platforms that I have had secondhand embarrassment because our dinosaur ass representatives are sitting up there talking about something that they really don't readily understand, not because they can't go figure out and learn about it to understand it, but because number one, they didn't grow up on it. And so it's not a native thing for them the way it is for you and I, and specifically for Gen Z and below. Number two, because like, it's not actually about a lot of times the platform itself. It's about politicking and like moving pieces on the chessboard as far as like foreign affairs goes. So the real like start to this whole TikTok argument was because of our competition with the Chinese. And a lot of this was about protecting, you know, America's standing in the race for globalization, in the race for being the world power, which China has been giving us a run for our motherfucking money for. Like, let's be clear that we are no longer in the lead here, and America knows that. And so it's like, all right, well, how can we fuck with them just enough? We have the CHIPS Act, right, where we're attempting to like wean ourselves off of like Asian chips that are being manufactured over there. And so now we see like, you know, the Chip Manufacturing Act and all of this money going into that. A big one during COVID, right, where all of our masks were coming from Asian countries. And when they said like, well, hold on, we have a pandemic over here too. We can't ship you as many as we used to because we got to protect our people. America like kind of flipped out. And it's like, well, we're the cause and the cure. Like, we've sent all of our manufacturing over there, and then we get mad when they make a shit ton of money and become the new world power. And now all of a sudden it's like, all right, well, how can I grab some of that back? So a lot of this is absolutely a power grab.
And I was gonna say, that's a great point. The power grab made me realize another point to why this is bullshit. They want TikTok to be sold to an un-Chinese owner.
Un-Chinese meaning
American.
Yes.
And I'm pretty sure there are investors who are licking their lips waiting for this to pass.
Yes.
So that at least ByteDance is the parent company for TikTok.
Yep.
So they can just, you know, go ahead and get that check. If we got to ban y'all, we know y'all gonna want to sell it. Go ahead and make your money and get on up out of here.
Yeah.
That's one thing. But one thing one of my critiques of TikTok, or at least the owners of TikTok, they didn't even like, they have people right now who are in these offices, in congressional offices right now. And instead of paying traditional lobbyists, they're just giving them free food and room and board. And I'm like, y'all should have paid lobbyists. Like, y'all should be, y'all don't realize this is how America works. Y'all got to grease somebody's
You have
palms.
to play the game. Yeah.
You got to play these games. So
You
I'm
have
just
to play
like,
the
y'all
game.
should have, I think they should have put more into that. But
Yeah. No, and 100%. So ByteDance, I think one of the issues there is because it's not a public company. Like, it's a little weird. So they're still venture capital backed. So when I look at that, like, and I don't know a whole lot about VC, but I do wonder how lobbyists lobby on behalf of companies that are not public yet. So that's one thing I was thinking. I was like, well, you know, ByteDance could do an IPO. Maybe it is time to go public and, you know, ensure that no more than 20% of it is Chinese owned.
Adding some shareholders would help. Adding some American share. I'm sorry, TikTok, and I know it sucks, but that's the game you have to play. I'll say my last point to it is this. There are a bunch of videos online of people talking about how they learned more Black history, real American history, let's be clear, real American history learned so much from TikTok.
Yep.
I think that the content that TikTok is producing about the bullshit that we are aware of, but a lot of people aren't privy to, is necessary, is paramount.
Yep.
It's something that's absolutely needed to wake up the masses in America. And truth be told, TikTok wouldn't be as popular if they better educated its citizens.
Well,
that's my point.
I think that's the danger of TikTok. So on one side, like on our side, the folks who use it to learn and things like that, that's the benefit for us, is we can be exposed to different ideas and different ways of thinking.
Mm-hmm.
But on the flip side, you have to think of how many movements have been driven via TikTok. So think about how many people now understand the history of Palestine and Israel because of TikTok. Mm-hmm. And from that, right, came a Starbucks boycott. From that, the whole Kellogg's thing with the cereal for dinner bullshit, right? There is a whole effort to boycott Kellogg's products starting on April 1st for 3 months, because they're saying, like, we don't want to hear the Kellogg CEO talk about y'all should eat cereal for dinner. We want to hear you talk about lowering your prices and paying your workers more so that people can actually afford to buy actual groceries for their families for dinner. And so the dangerous part for the powers that be, including the folks in Congress, is that we are now learning the truth about who owns them, who pays them, who lobbies around them. And we are able to mobilize because that app allows us to, and the algorithm is beautiful, right? Your For You page is beautiful because it's not just who I know. It's the TikTok algorithm is going to throw a random in of something I may be interested in. And it immediately like sees, okay, if you watch it for this long, chances are you're willing to watch more of this content. So I'm gonna show you more Green Route content or more GS content that helps you to like kind of fight in the resistance that's going on. So yeah, TikTok is great for us, but it's also very dangerous for the people who bank on us staying uneducated and in the unknown, I guess I should say.
Absolutely. The establishment. The thing is, I've realized this, that it's the 20-year-olds, I would say 30s. We're probably the youngest, probably the oldest that are really like consistent on TikTok and using it. And should be told, most of us usually vote Democrat.
Yeah.
Most of us usually vote. And it's clear that that's what it is. Don't get me wrong. MAGA TikTok is big. MAGA TikTok is big. But you know what? They'd rather lose the influence than gain another set of eyes on them so they could potentially go to jail. So they was like, yeah, we'll go ahead. And there's just too much banking on TikTok losing. They like, we know Facebook would gain, X would gain, Twitter would gain. We know multiple platforms. There's to me, there are multiple groups multiple shitty groups, let's be clear, that would benefit from TikTok being thrown away.
And they cool with that. With that. All right, y'all. Let's roll into the next one. What we talk about? Let's check in on Haiti. Let's
talk about Haiti.
Let's talk about Haiti. Okay, so quick update. I know we talked about this last week, and the de facto U.S.-backed Prime Minister Ariel Henry being unable to return home after he went to Kenya begging for police to come over there and help him out. So on Monday, which was, what's today's date? The 14th.
Today's the 14th.
So, okay. So on the 10th, 11th, or the 11th, there was an emergency meeting called in Kingston, Jamaica. And so this meeting included Caribbean nations, North American leaders, and European officials. And so this meeting was pretty much to figure out, like, you know, to get soldiers over there, security forces over there to help restore some order. The day after, Ariel Henry came out and he released a video and was like, hey, I will go on and resign, but not until this, what do they call it? A presidential transitional council is built.
Yeah.
Now, I didn't know what the fuck a presidential transitional council was, but of course the United States and the UN were directly involved. Of course. And That always freaks me out. I think like a screen is about to come down or something. But so they start laying out like what this thing is, right? And what it is a group of people who are supposed to represent the diverse political parties in Haiti. They're supposed to get together and they're going to have presidential power. Here's the problem, and here's why it's not sitting well with Haitian society. Because number one, these people have to promise, they have to vow not to take part in the next presidential election in Haiti. They also have not been sanctioned by the UN, not been convicted and charged with any crime. And the last thing is that they have to vow to support an international security force within the country.
What?
Yeah, it's fucking crazy. It's nuts. So Ariel Henry comes out and he was like, hey, y'all, I'll drop back. I swear to God I will, but we got to put this thing in place, which is literally just a council of puppets when you really think about all the things that they have to agree to.
Mm-hmm.
The other thing that happened during this meeting, so our U.S. Secretary of State, Antony Blinken, was present. The United States in September, I believe it was like late September, had pledged money to Haiti. Like humanitarian aid, we got to get in there and just get these people food and water and all the things, right? We was talking big shit about how much money we was going to send to Haiti. Well, there was a direct U-turn or a complete U-turn in that meeting where Antony Blinken said, oh, that money's no longer going to Haiti. We are now going to give it to Kenya, who, remember, had raised their hand and said, we'll send our national police over there to, reinforce security and regain some control. They're now going to give that money to Kenya for reimbursement for failed missions, for their willingness to be involved as kind of the party who will go over there and help restore order. And so instead of the United States coming to this meeting with some type of true solution of, and this is a long shot, maybe we should allow these people to govern themselves. America was like, nah, what I'll actually do is I'll take money out of their mouths, literally food out of their mouths, and I'm going to give it to the people who are going to do what I always wanted to do. And that's keep control and keep this country under our thumb. Batshit crazy.
That's crazy. I think number one, with the requirements that this council has in terms of allowing foreign soldiers in, let's be clear, the last and biggest cholera outbreak came from UN soldiers, UN peacekeeping soldiers in Haiti. Killed about how many thousands of people?
I'm looking at it.
It was a couple thousand people who died as a result of that. So that's that part. They've been playing with their money. The Red Cross after that big earthquake that occurred, they should have gotten money, and guess what? They didn't see. I don't think they saw much of it. The majority of that money never got to Haiti, never was put into use. It's insulting to those people. It's insulting to Haitians that they just keep playing. Like it's truth be told, they're treating Haiti like the border. They're not coming to definite conclusions that will actually fix it. They're just using it for political points.
That's it.
I've always believed this. I believe, and this is me putting on my pro-black theorist hat, conspiracy theorist hat. I could be wrong, but that's fine. What I believe is they don't want Haiti to thrive. They don't want Haiti to survive because Haiti being the first black country to free itself, emancipate itself from slavery,
it's a stain.
That in itself sent a signal to so many black people in the States. I think that to have a free black country that is successful is a detriment to the American empire.
Yeah.
Because what's going to happen when you have one successful group, country,
these other
black
Negroes
people
start thinking
we can have it too. And truth be told, all you have to do is create a system that works. Once it's cracked, once the code is cracked,
all of us will figure out one way or another. And once we realize that, hey, there's a working system that works there.
Jamaica will pick up on it.
Jamaica pick up on it. All these Caribbean. It's just going to spread. And the only thing we're going to be doing is looking at America and looking at the colonial powers and the colonizing powers and be like, well, why, if it's working there, why don't y'all want to institute some of those things here in America for us?
Yep.
If everyone on this little
Black
island,
Americans will be like, I'm out this bitch. Because cousin said I can come over as long as I'm willing to, use my skills to help society. Like and I did want to give you your number. So it caused almost 10,000 deaths, but over 820,000 infections.
So yeah, they don't want that shit. They don't want any of that. And it's like, why again, I'll say this. I'll say this again. I said this last time. You know the difference when they want to help or hurt. The difference is, are they sending ammunition or experts? They're not sending experts to fix the issues, to fix the problems. They're sending ammunition.
And you know why they won't send the experts? Because even the experts, and after Monday's meeting, even experts came out and was like, you know what we have not tried? Leaving them the fuck alone. Swear, experts, American experts are saying this now. Like,
our interventions have not worked. And one expert even mentioned all the goddamn kids that was left over there after the US and UN soldiers left Haiti. And these kids were not always, matter of fact, the majority of them were not conceived in love, to say the least. Rape. There was a lot of
that.
Yeah.
And so these experts are coming out saying like, y'all, we have a history of going in there and doing what we've done all over the world, right? So for us to sit here and have another meeting about how to help this place when all we've done is cause harm, leave them alone and let's try something we haven't. Self-governance. Let's give them aid and not intervention.
Right.
And our experts are saying that. And so of course they can't send the experts because the experts are actually waking up to
the experts are going to turn the conversation around and be like, but they can do it if y'all will stop fucking with them.
If y'all move around.
Leave them alone, or at least set them up with the parameters to get to fair and democratic elections, which again, they had one, but a coup happened and took him out. So it's like, let's be clear here, y'all. We not stupid. This is what y'all want. Y'all know what a peaceful nation looks like. Y'all know what I ain't gonna say a well-oiled machine because that's not what America is, but y'all at least have seen it. Y'all at least know. Y'all have pockets in America in which the economic growth, the housing development is on par. Y'all have systems in place within America's, of course, outside of the hoods and the ghettos. Y'all have pockets and places that work.
Yep.
Y'all know what it takes for a county, community, city, state to work. You know what it takes. But y'all don't want that for Haiti. Like, let's be clear. Y'all don't want Haiti to work, and y'all will keep sabotaging it until, for whatever reason, I don't know for specifically what y'all reasoning is.
I think you hit it spot on.
I mean, we can only conclude. But truth be told, let's be clear. No one is fooled by that. Y'all don't really want to help. Y'all want to keep it. Y'all want to keep Haiti under your thumb.
Yeah. Period.
So
that's the update on Haiti. We will keep watching. And again, I mean, same as last week. Love to our Haitian cousins.
Love, man.
I love Haiti. I love the people. It's amazing. And yeah, they deserve better.
They deserve much better.
They deserve to be able to live in their home peacefully.
And I love, there was a post on Revolt News that galvanized Black people in America. There was the Haitian gang leader barbecue. He was walking through with his people, and everybody was like, "Oh yeah, that Black Air Force One energy," because he had on Black Air Force Ones,
standing on business.
He had Black Air Force Ones on, walking through his community. So
I love it.
But I'm sorry, my very last point. The only critique I have, and it was one that was put on them, was the fact that they are, getting guns. They are using weaponry to secure themselves. And I will say that I'm hoping that that's just only a temporary fix, because I do believe, as was stated by, other experts, Haitian experts, to be clear, violence will only beget more violence.
Yeah.
And if you use guns to get your point across, they're only going to throw in bigger guns. Don't get me wrong. I understand the use of guns for now. Absolutely. For now. Absolutely. I get it. But I my prayer and my hope is that they have a bigger plan to use to use beyond the guns. Is my point. That's my hope.
I hear that.
So
okay. All right, y'all. Let me see what we got next. Oh, these Trump charges. Let's get an update down in Georgia. So, did we talk about Fani Willis last week? No.
We talked about it briefly.
Okay.
A little bit, but there's a situation going on right now. If you don't know, right now there is a case with multiple charges against Trump. Him trying to overturn the election in Georgia.
Mm-hmm.
Charges were brought against him. The leading prosecutor, Fani Willis, is under fire right now because someone she had a past relationship with was appointed as one of the leading lawyers or prosecutors.
I think it was prosecutor.
Alongside her. It was somebody she had a romantic relationship. And somehow they're saying that, this can't be ethical because of their past, or it's inappropriate because of their past relationship, when in my mind they're both on the same side of the prosecutorial coin. So I'm not even sure how that's really an issue.
It's not
we know it's right.
So a judge is supposed to give a ruling on whether or not her and her office will be removed from the case. But it's a man who ended up becoming one of her subordinates when she brought him on as a prosecutor for this case, right? I actually don't even know who the whistleblower was on this, who snitched and was like, they fucking right. I don't know who that was, but mind your business, number one. But so I mean, in a very embarrassing fiasco, right? It actually reminded me a lot of, remember when Ketanji Brown Jackson was doing all her hearings to become a justice. I remember they was just asking her those dumbass, ridiculous ass questions over a period of days. That's what this felt like, where they were really digging into Fani Willis's personal history with this man. When in essence these are two consenting adults. I know a lot of y'all have relationships in the workplace and got relationships outside of the workplace that you go home to. So let's be clear that this happens all the time. But what I think it is it was just an it was the Trump team taking an opportunity to discredit her. Yeah. Because it was a known fact. It is a known fact that Fani Willis has one of the strongest cases against Trump for several reasons. The evidence that she has, including the phone call, find me so-and-so votes. Also, the fact that that it is a state case, right? These are state charges. So even if Trump becomes president again and he's able to pardon, he's only able to pardon for federal charges, not state. The other thing in Georgia is that if you have a racketeering charge, which is why, our boys down there right now who are on trial, it's such a big deal, because if you get charged and actually convicted with a RICO, you have to do jail time. That is Georgia law. You cannot get probation. You got to be locked up. Yeah. And so this was, if Jack Smith fails, if Leticia James fails, Fani Willis was the best chance that they had at actually getting Trump on something that would stick when it came to the 2020 election. So they put all their business out in the street. And then on top of that, so I don't know if you saw that this week, a judge also ruled that 3 of his charges, but 3 from his co-conspirators, so 6 in total, are going to be removed from the indictment list, because they said that the prosecution didn't have enough detail on the alleged crimes. So it went from 41 to, I think it was 41 on him, if I'm not mistaken, or was it 41 total?
I think it was 40 total.
Okay, so we go from 41 to what, 55 to 35. 35. Now. So I mean, and y'all, by the way, even if Fani Willis is removed from this case, the case doesn't go away. What'll happen
they're just going to get another
prosecutor. A state agency takes it over, and then they assign it to another prosecutor. And you know, kind of like what we're going to talk about in a minute in Texas, like they could, you know, maybe try to shop it around, right, to get someone who's more aligned with their values and with MAGA, Team MAGA.
Yeah.
But I mean, again, she has the evidence. The case was laid out.
The case is out there. And also, too, that this just came out, Governor Kemp actually just changed their state legislature to where it makes it easier for them to remove prosecutors for quote-unquote inappropriate behavior.
Got it.
Makes it a little easier to make that change.
Got it.
This is something that just happened, I want to say, last week, a few days ago?
I hope it's going to be applied to both sides.
So it's one of those things where it's like, the writings are on the wall, the unfairness, the impropriety, the lengths, let me say this part, the lengths that they go through to protect this white man
I've never seen anything like
that. I mean, like I said, I always say this, Trump is the poster child for white male privilege. He has done so much foul shit. So much. Again, his own supporters, if they remove the Trump name off of it, his own supporters don't even support what he's done. You will mention grabbing folks by the pussy. You can mention all these felony counts against him. You can mention all of that and tell them about, again, remove his name. They will automatically say, this man needs to go to jail. This man is a terrible human. This man,
Like
but it's Trump. Well, I think there's some situations that require a little more detail and a little more understanding. It is a Kool-Aid that they are.
He's not good looking. He's not like, what is it that has them in such a chokehold?
I'm gonna be honest with you. It's hate. The root of it is hate. The what he does for them, like it is clear that he does not relate to you all on any level. Has never. The majority of his followers are rural tractor driving. No, I'm just joking about that. I don't
potentially
a good amount of them. A good amount of his followers are
nothing wrong with driving a tractor.
Ain't nothing wrong with that. But my point is, they don't come from the background that he comes from.
Yeah.
He does not. He don't know y'all.
Yeah.
He
don't want to know y'all.
He don't want to know y'all.
Yeah.
It's already come out. It's already been revealed that he barely wanted to shake y'all hands when he be in these small towns.
Yeah.
So it's like it's that's how strong the hatred is for others.
Yeah.
That they are willing to support someone who they know they have absolutely nothing in common with, who absolutely doesn't care about them, who absolutely shares no real values with them. You talking about this man is married to a foreigner. And this is your American president. This is the person you want to be an American president.
Yep.
Multiple baby mothers. He is the ghettoest white man that I've ever seen. Honestly, on that level.
Yeah.
He's for sure.
Baby mamas everywhere.
Baby mamas everywhere. One of them buried on the golf course.
I just, you can't, but you taught me something right now, because I guess exposed something to me, because I was like, is it like a religious thing? Like, do they think he's the second coming? But I remember somebody telling me when I was a young kid, they were like, nothing brings two parties together than the mutual hate of a third party.
Exactly.
And I was just like, And it reminded me of like, I don't even really fuck with you, but we hate that person together. So now me and you are besties.
Yeah.
So that we can hate on that person. Like, okay, I see it.
It is.
I see it.
All these values go out of the door if I feel like you hate the same people that I hate.
Yeah.
If you're against the same people that you just say, again, you don't even have to. My hate is so strong, you don't even necessarily have to do the shit.
Yeah.
You just have to say it or give me the inkling that you are against them or that they're against you.
Yep.
And truth be told, people who are against him have legitimate reasons to be against him. But the thing about it is, those are the people that they hate as well. Like, they're totally cool with being around Mexicans for Trump. Yeah. But let you not be a Mexican for Trump.
Baby.
Where are your papers?
Yeah.
Where are you? Where's your identification? And they probably be thinking in the back of their mind when you got a Trump shirt on. I don't get it. It is a forever mind fuck for me, to be honest with you. But I get it. I know why. Again, it's hate. It's hate.
And he don't like y'all. Like, even though his platform talks about we're gonna get Americans jobs and
don't fuck
lower
with y'all.
taxes. I will never forget reading that article about Ivanka Trump's best friend in high school. So she came out and she did, an interview or whatever. And so the best friend was like, yeah, we were hanging out, and they both went to the chaplain school together in New York. And so I guess the best friend was like, hey, Ivanka, you should read this book. And it was like a book about, you know, society and classism and kind of poor people, right? Like exposing her to the woes of poor people in America. And she said that Ivanka Trump's response was, why the fuck would I want to read a book about fucking poor people? And like she walked away. And I was just like, that right there tells me everything I need to know, because like she has been like inundated in this world of wealth wherein like I don't even have to think about these poor people.
Yeah.
Like all I know is they fucking clean my house, and if it's not done, I'm going to tell my dad and something will happen.
Fired.
And
You're fired.
Yeah, and that's it. And so to think that he could raise a child like that, but he himself somehow have empathy for poor people was just crazy to me. Like he don't like us.
Again, that's a part of it though. That's again a part of their values. One in particular is the disdain for poor people. Let's be clear. So he's right on target for saying fuck poor people.
Yeah.
He's right on target. Like they pull yourself up by your bootstraps, get a job.
I did it. You can do it.
This is right up their alley. It's y'all. He done lied to workers unions, plant workers. He has been sued by small business contractors who he hired for his rallies that he did not pay. The backbone again of America, small businesses, but yet you have him being sued by small businesses.
Yeah.
White-owned small businesses at that.
I saw some of those too.
Be clear.
Yeah. Yep.
Let's be clear. He's not thinking about pardoning y'all. He's only said it. It's again, it's madness. It's one thing, and I might get, I don't know, hopefully I'll never get slack for this, but I don't care.
Uh-oh.
But Putin said this in his interview. He said that America's own undoing will be America. So
he not lying.
So with that being said, do I think Putin is a great man? Do I think highly of him? No, at all, not at all. But again, do I believe a broke clock can be right 2 times a day? Don't get me wrong. The rest of the day, it's fucking off. Yeah. But it's definitely the possibility that, yeah. And a part of that has to do with until America deals with its racism problem. Yeah. Until America says, you know what, we need to get rid of that. We need to cut that tumor out. It's going to be painful. It is going to hurt. It is going to mean that non-white people of color will actually have a fair shot in America. But guess what? I'm sorry, you got to grin and bear it. You're going to have to. But because if you don't, I sincerely believe America's racism, America's greed, though it's a combination of both of those, that will cause America to fall like all the great empires that have happened.
And we're seeing it. We're seeing it. It's literally happening. Like we are. I mean, but Rome didn't fall in a day, right? America will not either, but it's crumbling
again. And let's be clear. I don't think any of us. We don't want America to fall. To be honest, I don't want bread to go up to $10 a loaf. I don't want, because we on our way. This is what starts to happen. I don't want America to fail. I want America to be successful. I think that all of the people within America, I think us coming together, we have the potential to create one of the greatest nations that the world has ever seen. We do have that potential because you have this goulash of people from everywhere.
Where all the best things in us can make the best place in the world. Yeah.
It can make this, but again, as long as the powers structure that is in place, and as long as it's allowing all this greed, the rampant political coercion, all of the bullshit, as long as they are allowing that to happen, then yeah,
this is where we're gonna be.
It's headed in the wrong direction.
Yeah. Speaking of headed in the wrong direction, y'all, let's talk about something that went down in Texas earlier this week. So you want to give them a rundown? All
right, y'all. So as you all know, diversity, equity, and inclusion has been a governmental tool that has been used to implement amongst companies, educational institution. And basically the point is, hey, y'all, we realize that shit has not been fair
for a very long time. We've done things, Civil Rights Act, we've done Voting Rights Act, we've done all kinds of things to try to fix the issue, but clearly there is still a discrepancy within specific pockets, and we have to address them. So they have put in, again, diversity, equity, and inclusion programs, instituted them within institutions, within businesses, for them to follow.
Yeah.
Now, what's happening is there are people who have issues with it because they believe that they are being unfairly treated. So, for example, there was specifically a group that was seeking to give money to Black women entrepreneurs.
Yep.
And it
was the Fearless Fund.
The Fearless Fund. And someone blew a whistle and saying that this is racism. This is discrimination.
You know who that someone is?
I don't know. Tell me who.
It's the same guy who led, remember Stay Mad Abby down at University
UT,
Texas?
at my school,
Yep. So remember when that failed?
Oh, yeah.
It's the same boy. So this is the guy who led the effort to get affirmative action overturned by the Supreme Court last summer. It was last summer. Same dude. He was the one who was just like, now moving on to this Fearless Fund thing. Same thing that just happened in Texas. It's him. It's all his movement. Like, it's all interconnected.
It's all him. And I'm pretty sure he's being funded by right-wing folks.
For sure.
Our biggest issue, our number one issue with that is this. They have been allowed for centuries. Actually, this is a century-old problem. They have been allowed for centuries unchecked to discriminate against Black-owned businesses, Black folks from getting housing. There have been a litany of ways in which they have employed discriminatory practices. And truth be told, what ends up happening is we end up with the shit end of the stick. And when we're in these poor, dilapidated communities and areas that have suffered as a result of them discriminating against us, they look at us and they say, pull yourselves up by your bootstraps.
Yeah.
Figure it out yourself.
But at the same time, so even think about the housing thing, right? Like, you discriminate and you keep us out, but then you are more than happy to take a government-backed mortgage and build wealth over the generations because of that government-backed mortgage. You're happy to take that GI Bill that allows you to go to school, or that loan for veterans that allows you to buy that house, but you're okay with keeping Black people out of it. And then after generations of you building wealth on those things, you say to us to pull ourselves up by our bootstraps when you were happy to stand in line with your hand out. You were happy to do it as long as it was coming to you.
See, that's only half of the two-faced mask, the contradictory mask that they wear. Of course they want handouts. Of course they're going to take the handouts if they need them, which makes sense. We're not mad at that. I am not mad at anybody getting help from the government if they see fit. White, Black, brown,
if you need
Jew,
help,
Gentile,
we pay for it.
Protestant, whatever.
I'm here for it.
Yes, that is what the government is for. The government is this is what they're supposed to step in.
That's right.
When the local infrastructure is not working.
We pay for these safety nets.
But again, for them, it is them saving the economy, saving democracy when they do that. But for us, when it happens to us, it's socialism,
Lazy
communism.
Negroes.
It's terrible.
Yep.
The thing about it is what they're doing is they're going to force us to really recreate a new underground railroad in which we funnel funds directly to one another.
Yeah.
Because if y'all are telling us to not only do it your way, but your way, the rules keep changing, then that's what's going to end up happening.
Yep.
Y'all don't want us to fund the whole point of us funding our minority-owned businesses is because clearly y'all have not been. Y'all have not been. Y'all have put too many loopholes. Y'all put too much, what's the word for it? Not anonymity, but there's too much, they have created a system in which there's so much fluff for us to get around that we usually end up giving up in the process. So this is what's going to happen. What it's going to lead to is us just saying, you know what, we're just going to create a group.
Yeah.
That just does this. Is it going to be on the books? Maybe not.
Right.
Probably not. But clearly, when we put it on the books, y'all are going to put the laws in our life. Y'all going to call the police on us.
That's it. Hence the Fearless Fund, right? So, a group, and I was actually just looking at the numbers. So, global venture capital right now sits at $200 billion. The Fearless Fund,
imagine too much,
has 27 million. It's a pin drop in the pool of venture, and they want to
take that away.
They were like, I know y'all created a group because we know that less than 1% of venture capital actually goes to Black-owned, I believe it's Black and Hispanic-owned women businesses. We know this. By the way, Fearless Fund is behind companies like Slutty Vegan. It's behind companies like, ladies, you'll appreciate this, Live Tinted, the cosmetics line. Like, this fund has actually helped to create businesses that are creating jobs across this country now. But because it was an answer to us being discriminated in this world of venture capital, and all of a sudden somebody looked over and was like, wait, you got $27 million that you ain't sharing with the rest of us? And the same dude that used Asian Americans, used y'all.
Be clear.
To have this program overturned that has actually benefited white women more than anyone else in this country. He saw it and he was just like, that's my next target.
I just find it very interesting that they have all this energy for us, but they don't have that same energy for the historically discriminatory practices that these venture capitalists have been employing for years. Like it's like that really is the easier target in terms of evidence. Yeah. But we're the easier target in terms of the social political landscape. Right. And they know that, again, this is a dog whistle for racists.
Yep.
This is a dog whistle for racists. This is attacking us and attacking our ability to fund our businesses is, again, right up that alley of hate. And it don't have to make sense as long as it's against a group groups that they don't like.
And I mean, you said it, it's right in line with why they fuck with Trump, right? And by the way, the thing that happened in Texas, right, where this kind of collaborative, right, that helps to aid and fund Black businesses, now they have to be open to all races. The judge that ruled on that was Trump appointed.
Was a Trump appointed judge.
And was the same guy who has ruled over and over in Texas on things that are gutting DEI programs in the state. And so, again, it's going back to what you said in the last segment. It is that mutual hate where it's like, you actually see why this program would be helpful, but I'm going to align with my boy because he actually like encompasses a lot of my values when it comes to these people. So fuck it.
I hope there's actually DEI gutting in Alabama that someone pointed out could potentially lead to them losing a lot of their Black football players. I'm gonna look into it.
Okay,
I'm gonna look into look more into that. But
we're talking about the university or the state as a whole.
The state as a whole.
Okay.
It's something in the language that talks about targeting, using specific kinds of language, and we all know. Let's be clear here. We all know that for sure in these educational institutions, these basketball programs, these huge football programs, that a good amount of those players are Black. That is one of the most integrated parts of college sports are their teams. Now, do Black students even make up 5% of these institutions? No. The majority of these bigger schools, my school included, Black people still don't make up over 5% of the population. Yet we make up the majority, if not half, of the players within the sports teams, or at least the teams that bring in the most revenue, we for sure make up half
Yeah,
of the entire team, our kids.
for sure.
So I'm really hoping that as a result of this DEI stuff, my hope is that somehow, some way, someone is able to organize enough to pull our players from these institutions. These institutions don't want black thought, but they want black muscle.
Yeah,
They don't deserve it.
that's real.
So
That's real. Okay, so I kind of see that we should talk about this next week because I do see what they're getting at, and it's more about would these students even be comfortable if they got rid of these programs that are helping them make the decision to go to these universities that are usually PWI, and they have to have a safe place right on that campus. Mama got to see that my baby will be taken care of if they need help. So really the thing is, if you take these programs and these offices away, where is my child going to go when something happens and they can't trust anyone and they're looking for someone who looks like them? And so that's the big issue. But it looks like the players, at least at Alabama, are like banding together to try to speak out against this bill. Because, I mean, even the white players, right? You know what it is. You want to win.
Yeah.
And that means that you have to protect your teammates who don't look like you, but who help you win.
We all know this, y'all. Black people, for sure, in the collegiate sports realm, we are the blood. Hell, we the muscle. We damn near the heart. The only thing that we don't really make a big part of is the coaching staff. Yeah, that's about it.
That and even that, right? Like they're talking about the diversity among staff. If parents don't see that, I'm not sure I'm sending my son. If there's no black man there who I know he can go to and say like, "Hey, I need something for dinner. Because I'm gonna just be honest. I don't have kids, but I know even my nephews, I would look at them and be like, "Yeah, you can't go there."
Absolutely.
Like
We're not. I'm gonna be honest. I don't
like
have children either. But when I do have them, I don't plan to send them to. I don't plan to send them to any PWIs.
Yeah.
I don't plan to.
I'm not sending you anywhere where I don't know.
I'm not. No.
Somebody will give you a good meal if you need it.
Yeah. Yeah. If they're just using you, the only way I would allow it is if they specifically love this specific area and this school just happens to be the only school that provides it. That's the only way. But outside of that, no.
I'm coming too. I'm coming too.
No, outside of that,
moving there.
No, outside of that, no. I'm encouraging my children to go to HBCUs, and that's if they even still exist by the time my kids come to college, because we all know that this DEI stuff is also going to target the funding for HBCUs as well.
It's next.
So
this is this man's work. I can't even remember his
they
name.
are undoing.
This is this man's work.
They are really undoing a lot of shit, and it just goes to show that no matter how much progress we think we make,
you're undoing shit that was a solution to a problem you created, though. That's what I don't understand.
I don't get it. I don't get it.
We created these institutions because you left us out of yours.
HBCUs were created as a result of y'all not wanting us in your schools. And now, at this point, years later, now that
they don't need schooling.
Now the HBCUs are, they have some they are definitely gaining prevalence. They're graduating doctors, lawyers at crazy rates, engineers at crazy rates, who are legitimately competing with other kids who come from other schools. And y'all are just trying to dismantle the entire thing. Y'all are taking books away. Honestly, y'all, I'm treading lightly when I say this, but if you go to the Holocaust Museum, there's a part in the Holocaust Museum where it talks about the steps to genocide. And one of those steps to genocide is eradicating educational institutions,
the arts,
as well as taking away information, literature, and history on specific groups. Those are the first steps to a genocide for a group for actual book burnings. Yep. I'm not going to go as far as to say that they are trying to genocide non-white people or people of color or black people specifically. When we're talking about, I'm not even going that far yet, but they are treading on some. They're allowing their crazier cousins to tread in that area of deleting us.
Baby.
Again, it's just right now. Again, we're just talking literature. We're just talking funding for our institutions. We're just talking about how they're trying to eliminate that.
Our history,
books, all of that. So we're just talking about that. But just know that some of us are watching.
Yeah.
We're watching. We're paying very close attention to all the shit y'all are trying to get rid of as it pertains to us and our history and our culture and our institutions.
And we've seen it before because history does repeat itself. So yeah. All right, let's drop into this last one real quick. Okay, y'all. So there was a woman.
I got a woman way over town.
Whose husband was apparently working 2 jobs and driving Uber on the side.
Yes. Now this is a lot. This is not political. This is just us.
Right. This is just some bullshit.
This is just us. Just fun dialogue.
So this woman, while her husband is working 2 full-time jobs, and driving Uber in his downtime to keep the family afloat. By the way, she's a stay-at-home wife, stay-at-home mom, all of that, right? He falls sick. He has an accident. She has to pick up some part-time work. What he doesn't know, though, at the time is that she's been funneling money into another account every month from, because mind you, she's a stay-at-home wife, right? So she runs the household. She pays the bills and makes sure things go where they're supposed to go, all of that. At first, she was funneling $750 a month. Now, when he had his accident, she said she felt bad. She took to Reddit, by the way, to fill in the world on her story. She felt bad, and she significantly dropped her contribution to her private
equity
money
fund
account to $200 a month.
Just a mere $200.
After years and years and years, she ended up having about $47,000. Right now, this man's accident. Obviously, he could not work. He was in recovery. She was working part time.
They drained their savings. They drained their savings.
She said they also had a lawsuit against them.
Yeah,
and so
they had to fight. So between
him being sick and the lawsuit, it drained their savings. Now she's sitting on $47K. Sitting on it. He doesn't know anything about it. So as they start to get into like this financial rut, he's sitting at home recovering. He has time to go through their finances now. And he's just like, okay, well, wait, where the fuck is our money, right? Like, I can't believe everything's been drained. He finds that she's been siphoning off this money every month for years. And that $47,000 was now in an account that only she had access to. She stops working when he gets better. And he's like, and apparently, so this is one of the issues I have with him. Apparently, he tells her, "Oh, well, it's my job to provide. You stop working now, right? Like, you come back home, whatever, run the household." This is after he found out about the money. I want to point out. So she comes back home, and he's still upset, right, about the money. Now, her mom, who I know for a fact has trained her to do this, because as a young woman myself. I was told to always have money on the side if I decided to get married or have a partner, that, you should always keep some money in case you need to escape, in case, something happens, right, where you don't have access to enough via your joint accounts or his accounts or whatever. You should always have some money. I know any woman watching this, like if you got a grandma in your life or an old school woman, you were probably taught the exact same thing. And a lot of that was because in their day, it was necessary when women could not work. They couldn't have credit cards or accounts without a man signing on or whatever. And so a lot of that was a way of protecting them. My grandmother in particular, who had a very abusive first husband, she had to go beg for her siblings to get her a bus ticket to get her out of there. So she never, ever, ever allowed herself to not be without some source of money somewhere to take care of her and her kids after that situation. So I know it. But now the question is, ladies like, well, am I wrong for not giving the money back, right? Even though we're in like financial distress now. And then the mama gonna tell her, yeah, well, this is exactly what the money is about, what the money is for. I think you should take it and bail now. And I'm just, there are faults on both sides for sure. But I think here's my thing, and I'm gonna shut up. He walked into a situation with a woman that obviously wanted to be kept. He signed up for it, probably telling her, like, don't worry about it, baby. You can be a stay-at-home mom and a stay-at-home wife, and I got you. The problem is, my boy, your life ain't set up like that. Because I do know men that can do that for their families. They ain't working 2 jobs and driving Uber on the side, though. They have one very well high-paying job, or they own a business, or they've taken over the family business or something like that. that's not your life.
Right.
It's not, and you signed up. And so even when she went to work part-time, you were just like, nah, it's on me. It's on me to take care of this. And you sent her back home. On the other side, on her side, she is falling right in line with a lot of women who are taught to find these types of men who want to provide. And, you know, as long as you stay looking good, you hit yoga, you get your face done, all of that, and have his kids to make sure the bloodline continues. Not only can you walk away with alimony and child support, but if you don't divorce, right, if you stay in the marriage, you are completely taken care of, and make sure you keep a little on the side for you. And is it wrong for her to fall into that? Yes, but it's what she knows, and it's what's been passed down through the generations. Is it wrong for him to fall into this traditional man? Like, I think it's stupid as fuck in this economy, me personally. But
in this economy,
you think one person in the household can work? It's crazy. So those are my thoughts. That's where I'm at.
I have a few thoughts about this.
Okay.
Number one, I'll say I ain't gonna lie, I love these divisive topics amongst, you know, men and women. I love them because I think they're light and they're fun. They're good to see like where people fall on it. So I'll just say I'm always entertained by these topics.
Okay.
Specifically, I definitely understand the perspective of a stay-at-home mom who's not bringing any money, and she has to, you know, she should put money. I understand her putting money. Understand a stay-at-home mom putting money to the side in the case of, you know, something bad happening.
Yeah.
You know, some shit hitting the fan. You know, love don't live here anymore. You know what I'm saying? Shit like, you know, cheating. You know what I'm saying? It happens. I get it. I understand. My problem with her is the fact that he didn't know that she was putting this money to the side.
So she should have said something to him.
Absolutely. No, there is no, let me look at the camera when I say this. I don't care if I'm bringing home just $100 a week. If I'm the person who's bringing all the money, if it's my money that you are controlling, there's no way that I don't know where all of my money is going. I don't care if it's $5, $10. I don't care. If I'm working, I need to know where all of my money is going. So she's 100% wrong on that part.
Got you.
Where he's wrong and where I believe that the fault largely blames, it's on him. My reasoning being is because of this. You want two things. Number one, you want to be the person, I'm gonna be the breadwinner. And a lot of guys get that, you know, their ego. They feel like men, you know, being able to take care of their woman. And I'm not saying, first of all, if whatever defines your masculinity, your manhood, I ain't gonna never argue with that.
Yeah.
I won't ever argue with that. If that makes you feel more like a man taking care of your woman, by all means, take care of her. Understood. But the thing about it though is you are setting yourself up for this complete imbalance within your relationship, because we all know, hell, we ain't even married, but we all know that within relationships, it's never 50-50.
That's right.
It's never 50-50. So you are setting her up to where she has to have a scapegoat. Whenever you tell someone don't work, you're setting them up to where they have to think about a backdoor
just in
fund.
case. Yep.
So, bro, that's number one. Number two, our ancestor, the wise philosopher Nipsey Hussle said that if you are sharing your success and not your struggle, you are a fool. So you are clearly, during that time when you was up and running and working and supplying the needs and all that, you were clearly sharing your success.
And
but when it came down to you struggling, clearly you were with someone who had other plans. She was not finna partake in that struggle with you.
And she made it clear. Her mama told her it's time to go.
She made it clear when he talked about downsizing. She said, no, this is not an option.
Yep.
She was totally okay with you working your fingers. Said, I work my fingers down to the bone. Genuine
She
said
was
it.
like, bet.
She said, so, bro, this is one of the, in my personal opinion, this is one of those situations in which your ego, your pride, caused you to lose $47K.
Yep.
And it didn't have to be like that, but that's the way you want to play it. Another point, we talked about this prior to the show, the prenup. And then we don't know about this because it's not in the article. We didn't find that in there. The thing about it is, if
if she was putting this money to the side and there was no prenup for you to protect your assets, because clearly you came in with the assets, you were paying for the bill, you paying the bills, buying the house and all that. If there was something in place for her to protect herself, but nothing in place for you to protect your assets, you are even more of a fool. Even more of a fucking fool. How can you have so much love? You know what, baby? We gonna be together forever.
It probably wasn't love. It was probably about control and ego for him.
That's what it's looking like. That's what it's looking like. It's looking like you thought so highly of yourself as the man just because you could provide this, that, and the third, and you saw that through a string of unfortunate events that no, that is not the case.
It ain't
the case. You looking out for y'all, she looking out for her. And I hate, and this is the part that I do hate about these situations, is that we already have this divisiveness amongst black men and black women. And I don't know if this was a black couple, actually, let's be clear. This is a white couple. But amongst the our community, there have been multiple debates on 50-50, this, that, and the third. And one thing I do hate about this, in terms of this going viral, was just the fact that it's kind of one of those things that's created more and more distrust amongst us. And truth be told, it shouldn't be like that. I think, let me take this time to say that what I think a good relationship should be is that I don't take care of you. You don't fully take care of me. We take care of each other.
That's it.
Will it always be balanced? Will it always be mostly me? No. Will it always be mostly you? No. Whatever the situation, people go through phases like seasons. People go through phases. So it's whatever works for us, whatever works for me and mine, whatever makes me feel two things: love and at peace.
That's it. And for me, I've been in relationships where I have had to carry it, but it was because my partner was on a, just in a funk at the time. Like things just weren't working out. And I'm like, all right, no worries. Because I've been the one in the funk where things wasn't working out, and my partner picks up the slack, like, don't worry about it, I got it. And for me, I just remember being like, yeah, this is how it's supposed to be. Sometimes, like, I'm fucking rolling in money and I or mental and emotional capacity or whatever, right? Other times I am drained and I don't even know which way is up. And so it's, can I depend on you to like be there the same way I know that you would be there for me? And obviously this ain't it.
I'll reveal this. I had a partner in the past whom they lived with me for like a month or 2 months, something like that, month and a half, 2 months. And I didn't have them pay any bills, anything. When I moved in with them, it went to shit because they felt like all the pressure was on them. Forget. And it was weird. And I had to move out. Yeah. So I'm just saying, y'all. Now, yeah. Pay attention to the signs.
I'm saying. All right, y'all. We got to get out of here. I'm already late to this meeting.
Shit. Okay.
No, it's all good. But yeah.
Quick check-in.
Yeah.
How are you?
I'm fantastic. Going to be making some cool announcements in the next couple weeks. So I'm excited to share that with the Green Route family. But yeah, things are moving. Hence why I got to go to this meeting.
Understood.
But yeah, no, things are great. Getting some shit off my plate that wasn't serving me. That was taking more time than it was producing.
We love that.
For me.
We love that.
Yeah. So yeah, all good. How about you?
I am doing well. I had a really good day yesterday. It was a relaxing day yesterday.
Beautiful.
I love trips like that because I get just gain so much clarity from it. So I'm revved up and ready for this upcoming season for Black Canvas, for my business, for my partners. I just got my truck fixed. I paid $1,700.
Come on now.
But I got it fixed. But it's there.
It's beautiful.
So I'm in a good space.
Beautiful.
Let's keep stacking and macking.
I love it. All right, y'all. Well, don't forget to tell your mama and them about the Green Route. Follow us everywhere at Green Route Pod. Subscribe to the YouTube for the full episodes, and of course, Spotify and Apple Podcasts for the audio.
Also, Sour
Kids.
Love
y'all.
Follow, like, just subscribe, the whole 9. That's the family. That's the studio. So just quick plug.
All that.
Shout out Kenny.
We'll see y'all next week.
Peace.
And it still wouldn't be enough. And they are lucky that what Black people are looking for is equality and not revenge.